some specific gotchas with this method, and my colleague Christopher Hart will actually preview on that one briefly. So that is the three methods of accessing our virtual machines. So let's move on with the PowerPoint. So value. So if students' home computers does not meet the minimum requirements to run Microsoft Office, of course we know that's kind of false because there's almost all computers run Microsoft Office. But the main thing is that virtual machines, you can also install operating systems on it, whether they're Linux or Windows machines. You can also install software on them, just like any other regular computers. And if you want to expand this to your employment, you can also make specific virtual machines built for specific users. Say, for example, if you want a virtual machine just for students, you can do that. If you want virtual machines just for teachers and maintenance engineers, you can also do that. And actually, it's pretty fast to deploy. Like, let me show you. Say, for example, if you install all the software for VM5 and all the things you want for an instructor or a student may have, you just right-click on the virtual machine and click on clone. That will automatically copy that virtual machine within 3 seconds. And if you want a template, meaning a blueprint, meaning if that's what you want for a longer period of time, you can also choose to clone to template. Now I can't actually click on it because we have some problems with the prototype being actually performed at the speed we want. So let's move on. So let's say if an administrator wants to have strict rules so users can do with their virtual machines, and as I told you before, they can also go to the administration tab and do that. And if students need help with a class with an error message, VI Client allows you to simultaneously log in to a virtual machine. And again, with a prototype, all you really need is a web browser and internet access. So scalability. So if an administrator expects an increased amount of demand to use of virtual machines over the summer, administrator can pick up any machine to be a helper server. In fact, if we just plug in this computer to our prototype, all we really need is to plug out the hard drive and turn on the machine. You'll actually see something fancy on the screen. So let me give you a brief overview of what our prototype looks like. So this is what our prototype looks like. You have the master server or the mother server, you have a default server, and you have what are called helper servers. Now the mother server or the master server is what's actually running all of the services, like DNS, DHCP, and the default server is actually something special. Virtual machines need to start somewhere, and the default server is where everything should start. And helper servers are just there, well, to help. In cases where you have an increased amount of load, all you have to do is add these virtual machines. Because if you have more than 14, maybe if you want to run 16, maybe 20, 40, 60 virtual machines, they have to go somewhere else. And that's what the default server comes in. If you turn a virtual machine on, it will automatically move into helper servers without the help of the administrator. So it's actually happening automatically. And that's brought to you by a feature called Distributed Resource Scheduling. from VMware, which comes with the software you're using, which is virtual infrastructure. Network performance, how will it affect the network here at DermTech? Fortunately, this was part of the prototype we didn't have time for, or neglected to have time for. We don't have hard numbers for this one, but everything using our prototype doesn't seem to affect or use up the gigabit network that we're using. Another scenario, which features a student rushing into the room and suddenly turning off one of the servers where virtual machines are currently running, because this room and all other rooms will be used as an on-demand server where you can turn them on if there's no class, and you can turn them off when there is class happening. So what will happen if one of the students actually turn off one of the servers and it actually has virtual machines running? Well, a feature called high availability will automatically gather all those virtual machines and start them somewhere else without the user having to know about it. So it's like nothing ever happened. So you won't hear, so administrators, this will be something that's good. You won't actually hear something from your customers. Not that I'm saying anything bad about our customers. So another scenario is users who want powerful virtual machines. Like virtual machines, we assign static memory, meaning users will only have a specified amount of memory. So what if one of our users wanted to use a lot of memory, such as a whole lot of memory, 4 gigabytes worth? So administrators can manually transfer that user to another different location where it will actually use a lot of the resources. But if you want to change something, yes, you do have to turn the virtual machine off and change the settings. And if there are 20 other users that want to do that, there's also an automatic feature called DRS, or Distributed Resource Scheduling, where we'll actually actively move virtual machines to other servers that are not properly in use, where the resources aren't quite used as well. And to show off the website, I would like to call on James Metcalf.